8 Mile Style, the song publisher for Detroit rap legend Eminem, is suing the social media giant Meta.
They claim that the company that owns Facebook and Instagram didn't secure proper licensing to be using the rapper's music on its platforms. The lawsuit claims that Meta has online music libraries filled with Eminem songs that users can attach to their posts. The company says that Meta is committing several forms of copyright infringement. As a result, they want compensation and to block Meta from using Eminem's music. The rapper isn't directly involved with the suit. Meta has not issued any comment regarding that lawsuit.
And we are back. For those of you who don't know, I am Dave, a 10-year intellectual property attorney dealing with everything from patents, trademarks, trade secrets, as well as copyrights. And as you just saw, it looks like not Eminem, but his publishing company, 8 Mile Style, has sued Meta, formerly known as Facebook. I think, and we're going to go through the article here as well. Let me see. I think they sued him for like over 100 million, maybe two. Yeah, I think $109 million. So we're going to go through the article here in a second. For those of you who don't know, copyrights, it's interesting because you can have a copyright to the actual recording of the song or the lyrics of the song, and then you can have a copyright on say the production and things like that. It seems like Eminem, this company 8 Mile Style, owns Eminem's kind of catalog from 1995 to 2005. It seems like maybe after 2005, Eminem is in ownership of his kind of music catalog, things of that sort. And this is interesting because back in, I think, 2008, between 2008 and 2010, I was in Lansing, Michigan. Obviously, you all know Eminem is from Detroit, Michigan. I was in Lansing, Michigan, and Eminem had performed at like the Lansing County Fair, let's say. And it was over the summertime, and it was a gentleman who I was working like maybe maintenance, not maintenance, but like security or whatever the case may be. Somebody had pointed out like, hey man, that's a the guy who owns a lot of Eminem songs, who he worked with early on. That's this guy. So he pointed out essentially the owner of 8 Mile Style. So 8 Mile Style is a publishing company, but kind of back when I was working this Lansing Fair security, a gentleman had pointed out to me the owner of 8 Mile Style, like, hey man, he worked with Eminem a lot in the early days as relates to his music catalog, and he had him and his wife had a big diamond rock on. I'll never forget that. But again, it seems like after 2005, Eminem essentially owns his catalog, and 8 Mile Style has nothing to do with it. So that's why you see in this case, not Eminem is suing Meta, but 8 Mile Style, or the producer, the production company of Eminem's catalog from 1995 to 2005, is suing Meta for $109 million for copyright infringement. So let's kind of pull up the article and let's go through the article. I know we just saw the video. So what is the title? Meta is using songs by Eminem and other artists without permission, the lawsuit says. So Detroit rapper Eminem Music Publishing Company is suing Meta, alleging that the social media giant made its songs available to its users without permission. So it seems like Meta, which they have kind of been sued for this in the past. You're watching CNN. I'm not sure. I don't like that, but let's go through here. The lawsuit filed Friday alleges that the company that owns Facebook, Instagram, and WhatsApp didn't secure proper licensing to store, reproduce, or distribute 8 Mile Style songs. So it seems like, obviously, for those of you who know, copyright and all intellectual property for that matter, if you want to use it without being sued, you have to get a license for it. To the extent that you don't get a license for using somebody's intellectual property, then you are on a hook for IP infringement, in this case, copyright infringement. So according to the lawsuit, Meta online music libraries have 243 songs controlled by 8 Mile Style that users can attach to their posts. Now, I look at, I never understood. I know YouTube does a good job of, to the extent that you use music in a video, that you are on a hook for copyright infringement. I kind of never understood the fact that Instagram and Facebook allows you to do this with songs without kind of it being copyright infringement. I'm not sure how that works out. It seems like in these Facebook, Instagram case, these 243 songs that was controlled by 8 Mile Style, not controlled by Eminem or not owned by Eminem, but it's owned by 8 Mile Style. I know we all like to think of 8 Mile and the movie and that being associated with Eminem, but 8 Mile Style is the owner, the publishing company that owns Eminem's lyrics or music for 10 10 years, and these 243 songs is controlled or owned by 8 Mile Style. It seems like Meta did not get permission to use these songs in their library, and to the extent that they allowed you and I, people like us, to attach that song to their videos, they're committing copyright infringement. The lawsuit alleges that Meta has known its need a license to reproduce and distribute music in 2020. So 5 years ago, Meta entered into a license agreement with Audium, a digital music royalty collection firm. At that time, Meta unsuccessfully negotiated an 8 Mile Style license as part of the Audium license. So it seems like Audium is almost like the middleman, the third party between the copyright owner and Meta. And it seems like they had, a royalty collection firm that kind of licensed music or got licensed for Meta for a number of firms or for a number of copyrights. But it seems like 8 Mile Style, they didn't agree. So the filing statement, Meta is committing copyright infringement, inducement of copyright infringement, contributory copyright infringement, and vicarious copyright infringement. So all types of copyright infringement that Meta is doing according to 8 Mile Style, and is making money off the use of 8 Mile Style songs. So that's the biggest part, the fact that you're making money off of it. At one point, 8 Mile Style reached out to Meta about the alleged copyright infringement. According to the lawsuit, the social media company has since removed several 8 Mile compositions from his music library. Anytime you are removing music, when somebody reaches out to you, that kind of is an indicator that, hey, you probably didn't have authorization, and therefore you are committing copyright infringement. 8 Mile Style is asking for $150,000 each for each song used without permission, or for each platform where Meta made those songs available. And a court order stopping the company from unlawfully using its songs, the lawsuit says. So you do 243 times 150,000. I think that's like $109 million. So that's crazy. And then Eminem isn't directly involved in the lawsuit because he doesn't own the catalog, so they don't have to get permission, which is, again, crazy to think about, the fact that, hey, it's your music, but they don't have to get permission from you to use the song. That's what happens, people, when you license over or sign over your publishing, which a lot of artists do, and then 20, 30 years down the line, they come back and complain. It seems like the early days, Eminem signed over his publishing to 8 Mile Style, and therefore 8 Mile Style is able to essentially make money or control the use or the dissemination of that catalog. Let's see what Meta is talking about in their statement. Meta has licenses with thousands of partners around the world, an extensive global licensing program for music on its platforms. Meta had been negotiating in good faith with 8 Mile Style, but rather than continue those discussions, 8 Mile Style chose to sue. And that's pretty much it. Which, again, hey, just because somebody is in good faith negotiations with you, that's cool. But until those negotiations has resulted in a deal, you can't use that catalog. And to the extent that you use that catalog before the negotiations results in a deal, that's copyright infringement, and they can sue you. So it seems like, man, you see how these big companies, these big tech companies, they try to spin a narrative. Meta say, hey, man, we're negotiating in good faith to try to, come up with a license agreement, but they decided not to, 8 Mile Style, that is, not to, continue to negotiate, and instead they wanted to sue. Well, we wouldn't have to sue you guys if you guys weren't using the music. You see how they try to spin that? It's like you and I are in negotiations for us to, start using your water bottles, for in exchange for payment, and we start using the water bottles as those negotiations are ongoing, even though we don't have authorization to do it. Yeah, you're gonna at some point sue me because we don't have a deal. So it's the fact that Meta is trying to say, well, they decided to sue instead of continuing to negotiate in good faith. I think that's BS, because if you guys weren't using the music, then we wouldn't have to sue you guys. So that's just kind of my thought. Let me know what you guys think about it. Again, please hit that like button for the YouTube algorithm. Please hit that subscribe button to be a part of the IP community. And again, let me know what you guys think in the comment section. I think, number one, this is crazy, and it should be an eye-opener that, hey, don't be so quick to sign over your publishing. We're talking about Eminem and his catalog. However, he doesn't own a right to it because he signed it over from those 10 years, spanning from 1995 to 2005 to 8 Mile Style. So they don't even have to get permission from him. I think that's maybe the key takeaway from me. And to the extent, and the second takeaway is, to the extent that somebody is using your music and they don't have a license in place or authorization from you to do so, regardless whether it's a small company or a big company such as Meta, then you got to do what you got to do. Sometimes, hey, it is what it is, man. This IP is extremely valuable, as this case indicates. Hopefully you guys got something out of this video. Again, let me know what you guys think in the comment section, and I'll see you guys next time.